Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. We just got done reading the book of John entirely, 21 chapters. And in the 21 chapters of the book of John, John's recording what Jesus said for us, for you and I, that we should follow and that we should be always in the proper place. Some of the things we find in this book, in these 21 chapters, which is 879 verses of Scripture in these 21 chapters, we find the fulfillment of what Jesus said. Jesus said, I and the Father are one. This is difficult for many people today. It was difficult for the people in John's day to receive that. Also, pardon me, I dropped my microphone here, and I must plug it up so that my thing will be proper here. This is, at best, when you get older, things become disemboweled if you're not careful. But anyway, here's Jesus, and he's instructing those disciples. Now, he clarifies many, many things in these 21 chapters. He clarifies that all of those that have asked him to save you, all of those that are following him, are not lost. None of them. He lost none of them except the son of perdition, which was Judas. That they all were there. When he asked Peter and questioned him 3 times in chapter 21, he said to him first, he said, feed my lambs. In other words, he said, Peter, I'm leaving you a job. And this job is going to be that you feed my lambs. And then he asked him again. And he said, feed my sheep. Now, when he first got them, they were lambs. And now they become sheep. And then he said to Peter, would you be willing, Simon Peter, do you love me enough to feed the whole flock? And the last time he asked him, he said, feed my sheep. If you're an uneducated man like I am, you might say sheeps. And what he was saying here on that last one is the plural of the flock. Feed the flock. You feed the lambs, you make the lambs, you feed the lambs, you bring them up to where they're sheep, you guide them, you tend them, you tell them how to do and whatnot, and then you get them into a flock. And then when you get them in the flock, you guide them as a flock, and you teach them. He was telling Peter, you're going to have a 3-fold ministry. Your ministry is going to start out when I leave here, with you going over there and telling some things to different people, and you going to the Gentiles, and you're going to have a commission to go to the Gentiles and change your whole lifestyle. He said, if you love me now, I'm going to put some things on you that it's going to be different than what you're used to. And you ain't exactly going to be real happy about it. So here he is. He's going to go on. So he says, Peter, feed my sheep. All right. There in the book of John, there are 7 different things that are characteristic with Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And then there are some things that are not written in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And so But we find out that Jesus here in John 21, he states that I am the King. I am the King of Kings. Besides me, there is no other king. And then he establishes another thing, that he is the servant. Remember when he washed the feet of the disciples, the 11, he washed Peter. He washed Peter's feet. And Peter said, not so, Lord. But he washed them. He said, that one. Lord said, well, look, your feet have got dirty. You're walking in this world. And then he also was the ideal man. He was a man. Jesus was a man in the flesh, walking on this earth, went to the cross in the flesh, rose in the flesh. And that's exactly how it worked. And then here we have him again. He is not that, but he is also the ideal God. He says in chapter 20 over here, I and the Father are one. And if you want to read and study a little bit, the prayer in chapter 17. The prayer in chapter 17 is the summation, in fact, in front of your eyes, of the Son of God coming on this earth. It is, in this prayer, the statement, if you please, it would be like an epitaph. It is the statement in prayer to the Father, stating the fact that the Father already knows, and Jesus is putting it on in the Word so that you and I could have it. And we can have this model prayer of what the Father already knows is here. What the Father already knows is here, but Jesus is verifying that he knows it too. And that he is going to be willing to lay down his life for these people. And for you and I. For those in the past. Also, he makes it very clear that he's laying down his life for all of those who have been. That's those who are in paradise. Because none can come to the Father except through the Son. None come to the Father except through the Son. That was the ideal flesh of the man coming on the earth. That was God in the flesh. We have that threefold thing. Jesus was the Father, he was the Son, and he was the Holy Ghost in one unit while he was here. And his job was to fulfill the Scripture. And he did that. He fulfilled the Scripture. We find that there were several prophecies fulfilled at the time that Jesus... I know you folks, a lot of you folks are on this computer and you're watching Brother Peter and you use your computer to find out statistics. Look up for yourself, even on your computer, the statistics of what is written in the book of John. My suggestion is better than that, and that is you take the pages of the book and you turn them yourself and you find out what they say. And that way there you will know how to turn the pages, and you'll know. By the way, there's coming a day when there's going to be a big glitch with this air stuff, with this computer stuff, with everything. A huge sunspot is going to come, and when it does, you're not going to have a computer. You're going to run to and fro. You're not going to be able to pull that telephone out of your pocket and go to texting and dialing and all that. You're going to have to think with your own brain, and you're going to have to get your book out in order